Hey everyone, in this lesson you're going to make a cardboard tiny house model and we're going to give you a template to use to make this. You will be using several new equipments in this lesson, so I'm just going to go through quickly what they are. When you're using a craft knife, which is one of the new equipments that you might be using today, this is very important that you follow this instruction for everyone's health and safety. So make sure you always lock it up when you're using it so it doesn't move around when you're cutting. And then you move it back in so there isn't any accidents of the blade coming out by accident. So that's whenever you place it down and you slide the blade back in like so. The other material or tool, shall we say, you're using is a metal ruler. A metal ruler is here to protect you. As you can see, it's like elevated like this. It's raised so that when you're cutting, the craft knife doesn't accidentally go and cut to your hand. So you must use a metal ruler when using a craft knife. It also helps the craft knife from breaking the metal ruler, so that's why it's made out of metal. The other material you'll be using is a glue stick, which you're going to use as to stick your tiny house model together using the joiners, and we will give you a worksheet to use. So here is a cardboard material that you will be using. So it's quite a thicker kind of material than what you're used to using, and you will also have a safety mat placed on your table, and a safety mat is here to protect the table surface from getting scratches and so forth, and also it can also slow down the speed of how you cut up your work. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is put some glue all over your paper, and then you're going to stick it down right at the top along here so that you don't waste any paper from this side. So don't stick it in the middle because you're wasting a lot of paper like this. So make sure you're doing the same thing how you would tessellate your shapes to save materials as much as you possibly can. So swipe as much glue as possible so that when you start cutting your shapes, it doesn't move around. Then you line it up. Keep it nice and flat and neat. You want to be quick because you don't want to have the glue dried out before it becomes not sticky. So you want to make sure this is fully stuck down, especially on the area where it's got the shapes on it. So here you can see several indications of what you need to do. So you've got 2 of the house wall to cut up and 2 side walls to do. You've got 1 roof. You can add a door and add a window, and you can use that as a template to draw around areas that you want to have that. So I'm going to start that now. So you bring your craft knife out, lock it up, and then you will need to start cutting. Now it might be easier by standing up and cutting your shapes out. If you are going to stand up, make sure you've got your face mask on. So guys, I've already cut out my first bit of shape. How you'll use the metal ruler. There's a groove along this metal ruler, and you would want to use your fingers, your finger and your thumb to press it down so it stops it from moving. You want to line it up to that outline as you're pressing it down. So make sure you press it down so that when you start cutting up, it doesn't end up moving around, causing it to have a skewed line. So just make sure you are pressing down to stop the ruler from moving. Go over it a few times until it lets go by itself like that. And I'm just going to do the same along here. You got your first shape. When you cut this up, the next thing you need to do is making sure you've got 2. So right now I only got 1 template. Tessellate your shapes, and you want to save materials, and this is what manufacturers tend to do, to save materials by tessellating their shapes. So that's why we're doing that. And line it up completely along this edge like so, get pen or pencil and just draw around it like so. Okay, and then draw it down here as well. Label it so you know where it needs to go.